morning to Hoha Gist with Ukuribi is here. Here on Hoha Gist, all we do is review newspaper headlines and discuss trending stories around Nigeria and the globe. And you can join us on Hoha Gist by commenting on our social media platform. Follow us on Facebook on the Daily News Nigeria. You can follow us on Twitter on the Daily News. You can follow us on Instagram on the Daily News NG. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel where you get the full gist of what we'll be doing here from Monday to Fridays. You can get the full gist on our YouTube channel on the Daily News TV. And when you do that, comment, and we promise to read your comments and react to whatever comment or questions you will be asking us. And without wasting much time, you know I usually don't do this alone. We usually have guests who come along with us to review those headlines and discuss the trending stories, giving you the gist, or will I call it the story behind the news. So this morning, I have a friend and a colleague who will be doing that with me. He is no other one but Charles Otudo.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners, those who will be listening to us via one device or another. It's a great privilege to be here to do this with my friend. We are definitely going to take this to a greater height.
All right. Charles Otudo is, I think, the chairman of.
My name is Charles Otumba Charles.
Otumba Charles.
I am the coordinator Niger Delta Activities Forum chapter.
All right. So without wasting much time, we'll go straight to the headline for today. And as usual, we'll start from our local blogs, and we'll start with the Daily News. First on the Daily News, we have APC inaugurates State Caretaker Committee and calls for unity as they move towards what the chairman calls the promise or the paradise. So over the weekend, precisely on Friday, the All Progressive Congress Cross River State Chapter, after let's say 4 or 5 years of disunity and disaffection amongst itself, after the quarreling and the factionalization of the party, finally came up with what they call a harmonized state ESCO that will be holding forth for a period of 3 months, where they will now do a state congress. And Mr. or Senator Matthew Mbu emerged as the state's acting chairman or the chairman of the caretaker committee, and he's to pilot the affairs of the party for the next 3 months before they begin before the Congress comes up, where a substantive ESCO will be put in place. Mr. Charles, do you see, in 2015, or let's say in 2014 or 2018, where APC was formed, there were these consigns of the merger of various political parties, and they tagged them a party of strange bedfellows. And people had already projected that the party will not be united as the PDP had always been. So what do you have to say, looking at what has happened in the party and also in the states?
It is not different. I don't have issues with those letters, those APC, those PDPs. The issue we have is the politicians there. You can say why APC is having problem is because of the merger from different angles, The one that is happening today in PDP. What happened? They are all PDP brought up from day one, but they are still having this issue. So the problem of political parties are not the name of the political parties. The problem of political parties are the politicians in these political parties. I am very happy for the direction the APC in Cross River State have taken, because I sit down and look at Cross River State being a one-way party state. It wasn't healthy for the democracy of the state. So it is a welcome development to me if they've decided to shelve their sword, if they have now decided to come in harmony, walk a way out, see how they can now become formidable. These states need a second party, another, even if it's up to 3, up to 4, they should be formidable. They should give, even this PDP have to take it again at the end of the day, but they should give them a fight. They should know that they came for a contest. It shouldn't be a one-way thing like what we have in the local government elections, where you have all the councillors one way, you have all the chairmen one way. No, it is not healthy for the politics of this state. It wouldn't give those people. This is what has happened. The chairman, the councillors, none of them are performing, because there is nobody checkmating them. If there was maybe 10 councillors in a local government where you have 10 wards, if we had maybe like 5 or 4 councillors from a different political party, yeah, that will now give the house some heat.
Let me cut you there. I understand that Cross River State had, from inception of this political dispensation, being a PDP state from 1999 down to 2019, or the recent election, which is 2019. It has always been a PDP state. But has that in any way affected the growth of the state?
Immensely, like very, very big. It has. Because if we had key players in other political parties who are strong, who are how do I put it? Who have that strength to push, who can make that noise, who can say a word, who can challenge the other party, the sitting, yes, who can challenge them. The state wouldn't have been in this mess.
Okay, let's look at the way it is now. In Cross River State, we have a PDP government. At the national, we have an APC government. And all the appointments from 2015 that the national has been given to the state have been given to members of the APC. So indirectly, they have been strengthened. You understand? Financially and manpower. I think in Buhari's first tenure, he gave more than, if I'm not mistaken, more than 10 national appointments to Cross Riverians. So how has that been able to balance the equation for both political parties and better the lot of Cross Riverians?
Now we'll go back to why I was saying the problem is not the political parties. The problem is even the ideologies of the politicians themselves. They don't follow the ideology of the party. If the national has given about 10 to do those numbers of appointment to people, at least to empower them, to make them stand, to make them rise to the occasion when the time demands, and you find them not rising to that occasion, at the end of the day, all they make from there is to their pockets, to their family, to themselves. Without using it, you find different things going on in these states, things you would not even want to talk on camera, things you would not even want them to hear from your mouth. So much has been going on in the states, so much. So the problem is not who has been empowered. The national, or both the states and the national, they should think of developing humans more than empowering their co-politicians. What they are doing now is empowering their co-politicians. They don't give a damn about the citizens. No, they don't care. They don't care.
All right. The second headline on the Daily News says APC disclaim rumors says membership registration and validation exercise will still commence as it has been scheduled. You know, there's a schedule for APC membership registration and revalidation exercise that is supposed, or that will be commencing today, being Monday the 25th of January. And a schedule of activities has been lined up as at yesterday. That schedule was released. So today is going to be the formal inauguration of the registration committees, state by state, and tomorrow they start other processes till I think 5th of February or so, when the registration proper will begin. So, and there have been rumors because of the laxity in the party where no actions were being taken. So over the weekend, there have been rumors that APC has shifted or will not hold its registration exercise. But the party, the registration committee came up and debunked that rumor and said that everything is still going to be as it has been planned. And so now in Cross River State, with the various appointments, well, I won't say those appointments still stand because you're a witness that most of the appointees from Cross River State who were in APC had been derobed. Let me use that word, derobed. Starting from Onogen, though he was not an appointee, but he was a career professional who grew through the ranks, and he was derobed of his office. And we also have the likes of the head of service, who also that same thing happened to him. Then the state was fortunate enough to have a South vice president, is a vice chairman, who later grew to become the acting national chairman of the party in person of Hilliard Etta. But we all know the story that last month he was suspended from the party. So with that, he is no longer a member of the party. And Okoy Obana Obla also was given an appointment by the presidency, 2 appointments for that matter, and he was being prosecuted, arrested by EFCC, and at the end, these appointments were terminated. And recently, we have Akin Ricketts, who was made the board chairman of MPA, the Nigerian Port Authority, and he was also sacked from that office. And thanks to God, he was not completely sacked, but he was demoted to become a member of the board, no longer the chairman of the board. So with all this happening to APC or in APC, especially as it concerns APC Cross River State, do you think the party will be able to pull through and get more people or convince Cross Riverians to join the party? Because there have been this silent cry from members of the party itself that APC does not have a reward system. So do you think APC will be able to gather more members through this registration exercise in the states?
Well, it's an open market. It's for them to go and try their luck. It's just like who wakes up in the morning, you prepare, you have a shop in Marian Market. When you wake up in the morning, you prepare, you have your mindset that, okay, I'm going out for business, I'm going out to the market today. When you get there, you throw you open your market, you keep your things and pray and wish people come around to patronize you. I think that's what APC are going out to go and do. In the States, PDP is not even doing better either. Give it if I'm to decide or if I'm to say anything about that. Yeah, PDP is not even doing better. And there's this rumor of a wave that will take place. So I would not want to deliberate more on this. But if I was to advise APC, I would have said, why not stay put? Allow all your grievances to be settled. Go to the Congress and come back. Okay, probably maybe they want to, first of all, have the number of membership before they now go for Congress. I don't know how they do their Congress. In some political parties, everybody elects who will be their leaders. But in some political parties,
I think in PDP, Congresses are by delegates. While APC is this thing, it directs
the numbers. So probably maybe that's why they've come out to first gather the numbers first of all, and then.
So I also think this will give, let's say, aspirants, those who are aspiring to be the chairman of the party, it will give them opportunity to register as many members as possible in their wards, in their community, to help them secure their votes ahead of the Congress that's coming up.
Registration today. We have seen politicians decamp from party a month to election. We have seen different things happen. So registration now, even if they go.
When I mean aspirant, not 2023 aspirants.
No, I understand. I mean, what I mean is, you were saying this chairman, that is party chairman, could register people from. The people is who I am talking of. The people they want to bring for registration. You can register me today in APC, and then by maybe November next year, I look at the ground, it's not balanced. I decamp.
Okay.
So it is not registering today. Even if they like, they should register 30 million. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't stand. It doesn't mean.
And with this concept of not party but individual,
now.
So
you see,
you can say that a party can have 10 million members and his candidate will lose the election because
well, if somebody can carry a member, many people in 2019 election were carrying members of a party A and were voting a candidate of party Z.
Okay.
So that doesn't matter. Having millions of followers in your party does not make any difference. Wow. It doesn't.
All right. So we'll go over to the next headline on paradisenews.com. It says INEC releases statement on resumption of continuous voters registration exercise. And there have been this rumor that INEC has fixed a date. INEC wants to carry out his voters exercise of this continuous voters registration exercise, where those who just turned 18 or those who didn't have the opportunity to register and get their PVC as at when it was done last time, that they are given opportunity now to get themselves registered and be eligible to vote come 2023. And I think, but INEC have just come up to debunk that rumor that although they are still going to do that, they are still going to open their doors for new Nigerians to get themselves registered and become PVC owners eligible to vote in the next elections, but they are saying that they haven't fixed a date for that exercise yet. And I want to think that this rumor emanated from the NIN registration exercise that is going on, because there's a headline we analyzed last week here where the federal government is saying that NIN may also be used in INEC registration exercise. So I don't know. Do you see a possibility of that?
Good. First of all, I applaud INEC for either shifting the date or waiving it or postponing it or whatsoever they've done in the statement. I applaud them. They have done what NIM didn't fit or didn't think well of doing. The NSAS protest, if you go to the INEC office we have in Calabasa, the place is destroyed at the
office.
No, the INEC now.
Okay.
The INEC now. The office is destroyed.
Okay, in Target.
Yes. Some other places. So there is no how this wouldn't have affected the registration process in one way or the other. Okay. NIM would have sat down and thought of this, knowing so well that NSAS protest affected their offices, but they did not. Instead of that, they are having one office, Unical, all these places where you have people go and cluster in this period of COVID-19. INEC, when they are coming up to do the registration again, they should think of modalities. Nigeria generally, we should think of how we can do this registration, how we can do these things that people will not have to go and queue, that people will not have to go and cluster. We know what is going on already for crying out loud. Many other countries wouldn't even dare this. They won't try this. So INEC is a welcome development. What they've done, I am cool with that. I am cool. They should go and re-strategize themselves, sit down, think out of the box, keep modalities in place, do things and fix this, and so that when people are coming out to register, so many people lost their voters card, so many people did not even have, so many could not register. So we are expecting a good turnout.
This time around.
Yeah, we're expecting a good turnout because people who did not even register, people who didn't, on their own free mind, on their own mind, they said, well, this time, I believe many people have seen the need to register because this type of governance that is going on everywhere, so many people are ready to use their voters card to chase them out. And we pray that before President Muhammad Buhari leaves office, he will sign the Electoral Act into law, so that will start. By then, when you hold your voters card in your hands, you will really know that this is your power. For now, voters card are no power. For now, until they sign that into law, voters card are no power. Because you vote, and they will tell you INEC, which they invested so much on them, which they got so many million for server. At the end of the day, when we now need the server to come and prove what the election was, they will say they don't have server. The data are not there. It is quite shameful. In fact, by now, I believe, I was thinking EFCC would maybe arrest some people, probe some people. That money they took for that server, where is it? If the server is not functional, who was the contractor? You should refund the money.
All right, that leads us to the next headline on paradisenews.com. It says PDP writes biddings, complained about APC's corruption, assault, and on democracy. Uh, the People's Democratic Party in Nigeria have sent a memo, a letter to the newly inaugurated President of the United States of America, Joe Biden, asking him to first thanking him for lifting the ban, the immigration ban on Nigeria, and asking him to look into the corruption and the corruption saga in Nigeria, saying that it is limiting democracy. It's an assault on democracy. Mr. Charles.
Well, it's a shame. It's a shame that we in Nigeria are now going out begging another president to come and help us settle our problem. PDP were here, corruption was here. APC is here, corruption is here. So this thing is, I am saying it again, it is not those three-letter words. It is not those APC, PDP. Those letters do nothing. It is the key actors in these places. APC would have written the same letter if PDP were to be in power. So PDP is not doing. They just want their name.
Do you think this will heal any fruits?
It doesn't. To me, it will not. I don't think so. Joe Biden will now leave the million problems of America to come and solve.
Well, you know that America is a world power.
Okay.
And the president of America is more or less
can say anything to any country.
The president.
And do you think the president Muhammadu Buhari we have in Nigeria today will listen to, or will somebody who is not even listening to court order will come and listen to Joe Biden?
But you also know that Nigeria didn't have a good face with Donald Trump, and Joe Biden had shown signs of concerns about Nigeria. Within his first 24 hours, the first thing he did was to reverse the immigration reverse the immigration ban on Nigeria. Then the next thing he did was to also place a call on a Nigerian girl and appreciating her and her family for the role they played in his election and inviting them over to the White House. And also, he has appointed some Nigerians into his cabinet. And so don't you think he is concerned about what happens in Nigeria?
We don't have to clap for all those things now. Every president has an agenda.
Okay.
Every governor, everybody has an agenda. We don't know what the agenda for all these things are.
Okay.
I am not going to dance now until I see what it's really for. Was it only the Nigerian girl that made all the success for the president? So I am not going to clap for this now until there's more to it than makes it.
Okay. All right. So we move over to the next blog, which is Negro Heaven. And on Negro Heaven, we have use of force. What transpired between Speaker Williams' security details and the College of Education lecturer at Otupani Junction. We all heard the story. It was trending on social media between Saturday and Sunday morning, where it was reported that the security details attached to the Speaker of the Cross River State House Assembly, I'm talking of Mr. Right Honorable Ethel Jones Williams, his security details assaulted a lecturer from the College of Education in Akampa at around or within the premises of Utupani Junction. The details to that has it that while the speaker was returning back from the burial of his immediate junior sister, his convoy ran into a lecturer who was also driving from his place of work down to town. And when the lecturer tried to accost the convoy, he was beaten and his car was damaged by the security details. And some minutes after then, the media aide of the speaker put up a story that the speaker was being attacked by some thugs. That was why his security details had to take action and ensuring that they folded the plans of the thugs. But as the story kept going forward and back, finally, as of yesterday, the speaker had reached out to the lecturer and also paid for the damages of his car and apologized for what his security details had done to him. Mr. Charles, what do you have to say about that?
First of all, let me come from the angle of the essay on media, or who is he?
Mr. Hope,
he should be ashamed of himself by now. I don't know him in person. I don't really think I care to know him in person. But if you cannot tell the public the truth, something can just happen and you come up, frame one story just to clear the name of your boss. Can't you just keep quiet and allow the story go to where it is going to? Your boss has a way of settling his issues, for God's sake. Let it be that he himself